Critics doubt this season's contestants on alone in the wilderness, but they found food and are eating well. They've even built small boats to fish in deeper waters, and surprisingly, some have crafted musical instruments. Impressive! He's truly committed to this wilderness challenge. I wonder how long everyone expects to last. It's only the third day. Lars finally caught something, but it's such a tiny fish it wouldn't even fill a gap in his teeth. Funny, considering he bragged about eating well when he first got here. Now, it's a bit embarrassing given the situation. It was the same in the third season. People assumed he was just there for entertainment. His skills were impressive, and both the crew and audience enjoyed watching him. He doesn't want to quit this time due to hunger. His strategy is to stockpile more food to ensure he can last until the end. Lars has high expectations this time. He aims to stay longer and has put on extra weight to prepare. Sunny is feeling pretty good. Although she's eating less, her mental state seems fine. Her shelter is basic, but it'll hold up unless it rains heavily. Still, it could use some upgrades. The nighttime wind is freezing, and she knew this place would be especially challenging. No woman has won yet. She aims to make history. In Season 2, she lasted just 25 days and felt quite disappointed. After returning, she trained to avoid the same issues as last time when the cold made her body struggle to adapt. She thinks that overcoming this challenge will let her stay longer, so the shelter needs to be sturdy. This will keep her warm in winter. She used nails to secure it, so strong winds won't blow it down. Sunny believes her setup is much better than her last challenge. She even made a decent bed this time. You have to admit, Sunny has prepared a lot for this challenge, thanks to her previous work experience. She can build things that are both comfy and nice looking, and now she can move her stuff in. Sunny isn't sure how the others are faring, but right now, she feels quite at ease. She's also collected some food, though it doesn't provide much energy. It's just enough to curb her hunger. With plenty of dry grass around, Sunny believes starting a fire will be easier. Despite his efforts, he only got a tiny spark. Next time, he must bring a fire starter. Sunny has serious doubts about the show's equipment. Last time, he spent the whole day frustrated with fire issues. He felt like breaking everything. He suspects the bark is faulty. At home, it was always easy. Anna is unsure what to do today, fetch water or chop wood. She decides to take a walk nearby. She hopes to find a better spot. For some reason, she eats very little but keeps burping. Her body doesn't feel good at all. She needs to eat soon to feel better. Last time, she had a partner, and even though it was hard, they managed to get along. She suggests bringing a friend for the experience, as it can strengthen the relationship. Of course, it could also lead to conflicts. After all, without food, tempers can flare up. Last season, her partner couldn't handle it physically. Otherwise, she could have kept going. So, she's quite confident about winning this time. Now, she needs a warm shelter. Anna thinks this area is pretty good. She can dig out a fireplace and place rocks around it. Next, she needs to build the shelter. It's another exhausting task. She wonders if her body can handle it. Anna made a fire to keep warm and cook. She's curious about how smoked mushrooms taste here. They were just okay, not as surprising as she thought. As long as it fills her stomach, it's fine. Although she thinks her girlfriend might slow her down, she does miss her a lot. Burke finds it really tiring to balance survival tasks with filming. People might wonder why their footage looks so good. It's because they want more screen time on TV. Now, Burke needs to build a big shelter. It's crucial for surviving the winter. He doesn't want to quit because of the cold. He wants to finish it today because there are a lot of clouds. He's concerned about a heavy rainstorm. Meanwhile, Lars is by the shore, boiling water and resting, looking very relaxed. Actually, it was really hard for him at first. He was clueless. Now, he just goes with the flow. He has no plan. If he's hungry, he fishes. If not, he works on the shelter. In the end, nothing was done well. So now I need to stop and calm down. I can't keep going like this. Without enough food, I need to plan my energy use carefully. Surviving in the wild can be really confusing. My plan is to start with a cup of tea to make things easier. Once calm, Lars decided to try fishing again. I found a beer can on the shore. Normally, it would just be trash, but in the wild, it's a treasure. The pull tab can serve as bait. Reflecting light in the water to lure fish. In theory, it should attract fish, but who knows if it will work. Burke had hoped to fill his stomach this way. But after 3 days of trying, it was useless. His stomach growled with hunger. At least the shelter was done, which was some comfort. Despite this, Burke could accept it. As long as he found food before his emergency rations ran out, he could keep going. After all, he was a retired veteran. His survival skills were solid, but age was catching up, and his stamina was waning. It was a shame he had to quit the 4 Seasons challenge last time. He had to leave because he broke his ribs in a fall. He left in less than 5 days. This time, he didn't claim he'd win. The top 3 finish would suffice. Burke had put in a lot of effort. He finally caught a fish. He tasted the fish roe right away. He loved that fishy and salty taste. Lars was ready to tweak his hook, convinced the pull tab worked well. Now, it was time to see a miracle. Lars attached it to a small tree, confident it could handle smaller fish. Now, he just had to wait for a catch. On the 4th day of the challenge, Sunny went to take a bath and check the fish net. It would be great if there was a fish in it. Sunny's physical condition was indeed impressive. Most people would be shivering in the cold with bare arms. But he still managed to wade into the water to check the fish net. Fortunately, there was a decent fish in it. He was thrilled, at least he wouldn't go hungry for the next few days. But when Lars woke up, he was starving. He had to find food quickly. The weather looked good, so fishing shouldn't be a problem. Death wasn't as easy as imagined. If he didn't catch a fish today, he would have to look elsewhere. Lars hoped he wouldn't be that unlucky. First, he needs to sharpen his tools to clean any fish he catches quickly. But as luck would have it, things went awry. The axe was too sharp and injured his finger. Lars really has no luck this time. The wound is quite severe. He needs to treat the wound quickly to avoid infection. The surrounding wood is stained red. You can guess how much it hurt. Lately, he's had to keep the wound dry, which has really slowed him down. Considering Lars' current state, it seems doubtful he'll last. He isn't ready to give up just yet. He still plans to set up fishing nets, so he tried another beach, hoping to catch some fish. He used a stone to secure one end and connected the other to a pole. Lars is confident he will succeed. He waded into the icy water with the pole, his hands and feet nearly numb. But as long as he sets up the net, it will be worth it. He feels there's a good chance of catching fish. He's confident he can finish this challenge and has resumed performing for the camera. I wonder if he's cold. Burke woke up to squirrels and considered hunting one. His shelter was less comfortable than he had expected. He considered building a new bed and wondered if his friends recalled his bathroom struggles last season. There were no big leaves around, and he was always in the cold wind. This time, Burke got clever and used something else to wipe. I wonder how that feels. Fortunately, Burke found bigger leaves, so he avoided scratches. He actually enjoys going to the bathroom in the wild. He enjoys the beautiful scenery, which lifts his spirits. Afterward, he ate some ginger fruit to boost his energy. Burke feels the pressure this time is greater than he imagined. He set up the camera to go into the water but forgot to turn it on. He feels his focus has decreased a lot. Just relying on ginger fruit, his body might not hold up. Anna used deodorant before the challenge to avoid smelling bad for a month, but combined with sweat. The smell is intense, but it's an improvement from the last challenge. Despite washing thoroughly, she couldn't get rid of the lingering odor. So, she's being extra cautious now. She can't fathom how others tolerate it. On the bright side, the smell keeps animals away. No need to worry about nighttime attacks. Anna's actually a vegetarian and wouldn't touch fish if not for this challenge. After the last challenge, I've been wandering in the wild. Being close to nature is really relaxing. But if she wins the prize, she still wants to buy a house. Anna thinks fishing is like dating. If you rush, you'll just scare them off. Patience is key. I have no idea how long I've been standing here. Anna is feeling terrible. Sunny wants to build a small boat for setting up nets because wading into the water daily is too exhausting. I've always wanted to build a small boat for the challenge. In my free time, I relax in my cabin. She loves the outdoor survival experience and, if possible, she hopes to make it look nice during the challenge to lift her spirits. Sunny's boat frame is nearly finished, but she didn't see the finger cut coming. Thankfully, it was minor. After a quick fix, she got back to boat building. As long as it doesn't get infected, he's fine. After much effort, the boat is finally finished. Even though Camilla caught fish immediately, it doesn't guarantee she'll keep catching fish. He's anxious about future catches. Fishing demands a lot of patience. Otherwise, you won't notice when the line gets robbed. Chris is using berries as bait, hoping to catch some fish. But it's not working well. Now he doesn't know where to find food. He really hopes nature will provide some. He has to light a fire to warm up and rest. Be cautious when breaking branches, or you might get hurt like he did. Chris needs a moment to cool off. All the contestants aim to last longer this time and avoid an early exit. At least outlast their previous attempt, always pushing their limits. Sunny managed the fish well. The fish tasted quite good after cooking, and he wishes he could eat it daily. He hopes the others don't catch any, giving him a better shot at the prize. Burke is worn out and just wants to rest. Surviving in the wild is really tough. He has a lot to do, but his main concern is still food. He's unsure when he'll get a proper meal. Relying on berries and emergency food isn't enough. It's best to catch more fish. That way, his body can keep going. Jesper isn't in a hurry to work either. He first sets up his camp. It's actually not that hard to make. Be cautious when cleaning inside, or you could injure your hand. Taking protective measures is wise. Only those who've done wilderness survival know the value of music. Sonny caught another small fish to eat. He felt like he was getting better, but then Burke started feeling off. His body was incredibly sore. Today's activity shouldn't have caused this. He thought he must be sick and wondered if rest would help. On day 5, Camilla had a rough night. She needed a comfier bed and was disturbed by some noise. She spent the night fearing an attack and only dozed off at dawn. These mosquitoes are swarming her blood. Who can put up with this? Burke's condition worsened. He was drained and his chest felt tight. Lars, however, felt fine. He was constantly thinking about finding food, convinced there had to be more to eat in this environment. The production team got a call from a contestant. Can you guess who dropped out? No surprise, it was Burke asking for a doctor. He could barely talk. This wasn't like his last challenge. Maybe Norway just isn't for Burke. Continuing would only worsen things. The production team confirmed it wasn't scripted. Burke had to leave due to health issues. He had no other option. He had to pack up and head home. At least he didn't break a rib this time. Is that progress? It's surprising how fast he had to leave. Now, just 6 contestants remain. It's hard to predict who will endure. They're all on equal footing. Lars also thought about quitting, but felt 5 days was too soon. He decided to stay at least a month. He went back and built a stove for the shelter. Just not sure when they'll have meat to cook on it. The stove does look pretty good now. With the iron chain he found earlier, he believed it would be useful for hanging a pot. What do you all think? Camilla needs to chop a lot of wood every day. Firewood is crucial for her. Sonny is busy collecting berries to eat. She saves some for winter. Anna built a large frame to place her wings in the water. This simplifies setup and securing, though it's somewhat heavy to move. Jesper reinforced the shelter with more waterproofing. Everyone is working hard. They all want to showcase their skills on camera. Wilderness survival is truly tough. Check out Jesper, he misplaced his knife. Things were deteriorating for him, and losing the knife was a major blow. You can't really use an axe for food prep. Jesper had to search carefully, or he'd have to go home and buy a new knife. The most troublesome part was that the knife handle blended in with the surroundings. Just when Jesper thought he was doomed, he suddenly found the knife. He finally felt relieved. Now it's drizzling outside, so Anna can only rest in the shelter. It does affect her mood a bit. When the rain lets up, Anna will need to set up the net in the water. Surviving in the wild is hard. She undresses and wades into the water. If you're feeling weak, the cold water can be tough, but Anna felt fine and even took the chance to bathe. She didn't forget to show off her figure on camera. Jesper also got into the water naked. There shouldn't be any issues with the stinging nettles here, but the cold made everything shrink, so he had to slowly move towards the shore. Camilla finally managed to improve the shelter, but she was utterly exhausted. Lars finally caught a fish, and he was over the moon. Even though it was just a small fish, it was a victory for him. He started performing for the camera again. He just hopes to catch more fish later. Sonny plans to take the small boat to deeper waters, and it worked better than expected. As long as it's not windy or rainy, he can catch more fish with the boat. Lars has already cleaned the fish. But while cooking, there was smoke everywhere, almost putting out the fire. Thankfully, he managed to cook the fish. Lars regained his confidence, believing he could last another month. He just needs to set up a smoke vent tomorrow. It's day 6 of the challenge. Anna needs to build a shelter. It took 2 people half a day last time, but she can do it alone now. You have to admit, she's improved a lot, but it's very physically draining. The finished product looks quite good. Lars is working on his nighttime shelter, laying sand on the ground for the fire. Lars is confident the smoke won't be an issue this time. He prepared some food to celebrate and set out family photos. He believes this embodies true wilderness survival. Sonny checked the net early. The small boat is a big help. The net in deeper water catches fish more easily, but there was trouble retrieving it. It got stuck and wouldn't budge. They had to cut the net open with a knife, unsure of what went wrong, which really worried him. Meanwhile, Camilla had a small mishap with her food. A small fish with vegetables. He thought it was okay, but not filling. He'll likely be hungry again by midnight. Jesper spent a lot of time building the base. The sound quality is decent, but the mouth part still needs some adjustments. Sonny spent a lot of effort getting the secondary net ready. Hopefully, it won't get stuck again this time. Who knows what challenges lie ahead?